Hello and welcome to AMS2 Hot Lap Car Reviews, and welcome to Oulton Park. Today we are driving the Aussie racing Camaro as part of the team time trial event that I am taking part in. Now, let's get things clear from the very beginning. I have never driven this car before, I had never had any interest in driving this car before, and after driving it incredibly badly for several laps, I don't have much intention to go back. This car is a very unique car to drive and handle, and it clearly doesn't suit my driving style particularly well. My biggest issue with this car seemed to be in the braking zones, where I was struggling with the front ends locking up quite regularly, and at the same time the back end being very light and trying to swing one way or another. As a little bit of advice here, if you are going to be using this car, try to make the back end swing in the way you need it for the corner you're going into. Additionally, this car is all about momentum. So whether it is maximizing your speed out of a corner, knowing when to shift gear coming up to a hill, or trying to avoid braking too much going into a fast sweeping bend, these are all things you need to consider to maximize your lap times. In addition, with this car being particularly edgy when it's being pushed hard, this makes for quite a hairy experience when you're trying to make this car go faster than you're comfortable to drive it. This is one of the few cars in AMS2 that I've left after pushing it hard through a hot lap and not feeling that urge to return. During my time growing up, I was very fortunate to have lived in areas that just so happened to occupy the motor racing scene, such as Oulton Park, Thruxton, Brands Hatch and Silverstone. Oulton Park was our regular haunt for the British Touring Car Championship, and the thing that I really loved about Oulton Park in those days was the ability to drive your car right up to the circuit for a fantastic view. Sitting up on the roof of the car with a cup of coffee and a sandwich, getting soaking wet and freezing cold, were really wonderful memories indeed. Going into Old Hall Corner, you really want to be maximising your speed all the way through. You need to try and get as much speed coming out of the corner to get through Avenue, Dentons, down into Cascade as quickly as possible. You need to be very careful of your braking point into Cascades because of the big bump exactly where you'd normally want to be braking. Coming along Lakeside, you just want to avoid some of the big bumps before you brake into the Island hairpin. This is a tricky corner as it's quite slippery and you need to be getting as much speed again on the exit in order to make your way up the hill through hilltops down towards Hislop. Coming down from hilltops, you want to be looking for your braking point carefully. I brake just past that 50-yard board and allow the speed to carry me into Hislops. You need to be careful, this is a fairly tricky and slippery chicane complex and you need to be again maximising your speed to get out of Knickerbrook all the way up onto Clay Hill. In this car you may want to shift up gear early, in more powerful cars you won't need to. Flat out jink round Water Tower and you're then braking lightly into Druids, trying again to carry as much speed as possible through it. Druids is one of those frustrating corners where you always feel like you can take it quicker. Coming down into Lodge Corner you need to watch for these lumps and bumps in the braking zone. The apex falls away, it's very tricky to spot where you need to be turning in to maximise your traction up onto Deer Leap and onto the start-finish straight for another lap of the beautiful Oulton Park.